This is the Get On Our Level podcast, and this is week 2 of a 3-part series, The Formula to Great. Last podcast, we went over expect more, which is accountability on the programmer side, those who develop, implement, and are in control of not just the development of your program, but the development of you as an athlete. The second part of the formula is bring more. And we have some boundaries, some guidelines, some structure now that started about 3.5 years ago, maybe 2.5 to 3 years ago, with kind of the way our athletes have to operate to remain in the program. But there's still a piece of bring more that has to happen in the formula. It's not just, meet minimums. It's not just come in and go through the workout and make sure you're doing it all. But it's how. And we were talking a lot lately about how over what. What you do will never be more important than how you do it. And that's the key to bring more. Bring more says we don't just come to our school workouts and the club practices and the extra skills training and then come here, but we do it all and we get great grades, as is demonstrated with our current upperclassmen, our juniors and seniors. We've got about 20. I believe 18 of them have made National Honor Society. One of the other two is between a 3.5 and a 4.0 GPA, and the other one's above a 3.0. That's 20 out of 20 kids that are achieving pretty high at the varsity level. In the fall, we had, I believe, 7 that were team captains. Many that are heading to play in college after their high school careers are on the path to start talking with coaches and make that decision. Many that are at the top of their conference, the Central Buckeye, the Metro Buckeye, the GWAC. So top performers and in these higher level clubs that travel to Columbus, Cincinnati, just for practices, let alone out of state for the weekends. They're doing their high school stuff, and on top of it all, they're coming here. And on top of all of that, somehow they have a social life. That's bring more. You find a way, not a way out. There are people who find comfort and convenience and seek it all the time. And there are others that say, I can do better, I can do more, and they find a way to not just do more, but do it all better. So bring more is when you come to the workouts, it's not just going through it, but you go through it at a different level. And when you go through it, you're not just going through it as yourself, but you're finding a way to help out others. Because we know when we help out others, when we pour into others, then 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year from now, we've got a better person in the weight room who now can challenge you in your sprints, who can spot you better, who can also be one of those agents of change, one of those people that are going around and pouring into other people, and the environment continues to improve. And when you leave and you come back from your college and you need to get some workouts in to stay on path, the environment is where it's supposed to be because of what you put into it. Another part of Bring More that we see quite a bit around here, Taylor Shaw did it this week. I remember Courtney Sievers last year really sticks out with me. She was not feeling well. She was still semi-new. When you're sick, training through a little headache, a little tummy ache, congestion, you threw up this morning or last night, you'll be all right. I remember one time that we sent a kid home was Cassidy Wasson, and it actually was probably one of her final workouts during that basketball season, her senior year, I believe. We were still in the garage. Maybe it was her junior year. But she showed up white as a ghost. As somebody that never misses workouts, a leader of how we do things, not just in attendance, but the workouts themselves and making others better, and on the court. And she dragged herself in there. I knew right away, you gotta go. Outside of that, we've had kids on a regular basis. They may or may not go to school. They still are coming to the workouts so they understand the long term, what can happen over the long term. And how they feel right now is just a short-term thing that we're going to overcome. That's Bring More. Another part of Bring More, we got a lot of kids that work out on game day. Now, programming, and we talked about programming in the Expect More podcast last time. Programming allows that to happen. The way we go about the seasons and what the role is somebody plays on a team, you could come in on game day. You'll be all right. You're not conditioned to, oh, I'm going to play like crap because I came in and I ran a couple sprints in the morning. Somewhere, somehow, somebody's planted those seeds in a lot of people's heads, and it's absolutely false. And it's not something that we're just going to do it right now. We're kind of trying it. It's something we've been doing for years. And we've been doing, and kids have turned around and scored, triple-double. Haley Prince a couple years ago in a big game against Kenton Ridge on that pink night. They were working out that same week, maybe the night before. Turned around. I remember we posted a video about this. Huge game, that Kenton Ridge game, that pink night. Turned around next morning, 5:15, 5:30, whatever we were doing at the time. Her, Cass, and Allie, right back at it. Long-term focus. That's bring more. You're not comfortable now. It's not convenient now. You got a lot of homework. You find a way. And when you make those decisions time after time after time, because you have the heavy homework loads, you have the I'm tired, you have the I got a game, I got practice, I got club practice, my club practice is in Cincinnati. And when you find a way to get those minimum 3 days that we need to get in to make progress, and you're doing that 52 weeks a year over the course of 4 years, no wonder we see the success we do. It's not magical. I believe this could be happening in a lot more places, but the standard is not held. We know what works, and we're not holding teenagers, high schoolers that have no idea what they're doing. We've been doing this time after time after time with kid after kid after kid. Therefore, it is our responsibility to show them the way. And I'm not a subscriber to the Land of Make-Believe or any of those channels, so we're not going to do it any other way but the right way. And time after time after time, I'm wondering one of these days, this can't just keep happening, keep working. But it does because the formula is simple. Not too easy to implement because of the variable, the bring more variable. The individual has to make that decision. But I truly believe we can bring anybody to great because the real quest, the real hunt, the real work that goes into being great isn't being done. Therefore, our path, our hunt, our quest, our process to get to great is a lot easier because all we got to do is implement what's on paper. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but maybe there will be a day that us just implementing that process and doing what everybody else won't do, maybe one day it won't work. Maybe because everybody else will elevate up. But as of right now, we're pretty black and white, cause and effect. When kids stick with the process long enough, the expect more, the program, the process itself has been designed. The shell has been set up to where when you get plugged in, it's going to be done a certain way. When a kid brings the effort, when a kid does all the things we already talked about, when they're tired in the school and everything else, when they're sick, that's hundreds of workouts over their career that they're getting that other kids aren't getting because, oh, it's Friday night, I got to go to a basketball game and be in the student section. Well, we've had kids year after year after year. They show up at the end of the first quarter. Are you going to sit in the stands and watch somebody else be great, or are you going to work on yourself and be the person that's on the court that someday everybody else is going to get in the stands and watch? Oh, I've got big projects. Everybody's got big projects. You find time. And that's why we're so big on planning, because there is a lot that you have to do, but the part of the formula is you gotta bring more. And when the kids find a way, the athletes find a way to get it in regardless, that multiplies 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, and before you know it, maybe 250 to 300 workouts over a career. And then, wow, magic happens. Great. Expect more plus bring more equals great. As of right now, it's that simple. Not easy to bring more. Not easy to hold people accountable to that standard of bring more either. Very uncomfortable. When people stick to it and they overcome those small, uncomfortable times, big things happen. A couple examples I want to go ahead and go over of bring more. Gracie Glazer on a regular basis coming to workouts, leaving at 7, maybe 7 o'clock at night, heading straight to her MCY swim practices. Our Spy kids do the same thing. We call her Casanos and Katie Robinson, K-Rob, on a regular basis are busting their butt out of their Troy swim practice, getting out of the workouts by 7 o'clock, and then they're going home and they got their homework to do. On a regular basis, this winter, we've got Cole Brogan, Zach Kuntz, Tatum McBride, Kirsten Narker, all in season, all basketball kids. Just about every Monday, Friday morning at 5:20, you're going to find them as a group working. They have games maybe that Friday night. Maybe they have that game like Tatum. Actually, last night she had a game, dropped 29 points on some poor team, and she's up at 5:20 this morning, right back at it. A lot of kids, from what we've seen, I had a game. I'm tired. I can't work out. Well, when Tatum's made that decision 50, 75, 100 times over the 4 years she's been with us, that she's been tired, but I'm going to get it in. I had a game last night. Maybe I'm a little short on sleep, but I'm going to stay on path. And those decisions that she's made over and over and over and over again that some kids won't make once, or let alone make it in a string of a couple months, let alone a string of a couple years. I really think that's all comes down to when we get the separation of these kids. Because the kids that make those decisions, the kids that say, I'm going to, yeah, I've got this, but I'm going to, instead of, oh, this is the reason why I can't. I really believe those are the same kids that say, hey, I've got an extra 2 hours because I'm out of season. I'm going to go work on my fundamentals. I'm going to go refine my skills. I'm going to make them, from my fundamentals, I'm going to master them. I'm going to bring them to mastery. And when those kids are making those decisions and they're training and developing themselves as a better athlete, and then doing the same thing with the fundamental skills and drills, they naturally are on the higher level clubs, and they're doing that on a regular basis, and they're competing at a higher level in those clubs. It's simple. They're the ones that perform higher. So, the secret to success, expect more plus bring more equals be great. Expect more is the designer, is the person who implements, the person who in charge of the structure, the environment, the how. The person in the bring more is you, the athlete, the variable. What's your effort? What's your excuses? Are you a planner? Planners prosper. Do you find a way, or are you looking for a way out? Mommy and daddy call when there's issues, or you the one calling? That's a big one. Our most successful kids are the ones that handle their business. They're the ones that are planning on Sundays. They're the ones that are texting myself if there's any issues ahead of time. They take responsibility for their goals and they run with them. If mommy, if daddy are the ones calling, they're the ones texting. A lot of times those kids are sometimes, they're not the ones that are real excited about their goals. It's the parents. And they're going to drop off eventually, because if you don't want to be here, you can only really train for an hour and a half, 3-4 times a week through season and everything for so long before eventually you're going to break down. And then it comes back to us, I'm just tired, I'm overwhelmed, I'm fatigued, and that part of the formula is not going to be met. It's pretty simple. Is it really that easy? Just expect more, bring more, and then boom, great. Yes, it is. And we'll explain that in the third week of this series, Be Great. That'll be the next podcast. We'll go over what it means to be great, how you get to great, and can everybody actually achieve being great. Expect more, bring more, be great. Get on our level. You can never ever